Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I wanted to discuss with you just a short basically video on dua prayers, and we'll get straight to the point. What is dua? Dua is basically when you call upon someone or something. So basically we're Muslims, so we call upon Allah, alhamdulillah. And dua can be used in any situation, and you could say it whether verbally out loud, or you can talk to yourself inside and ask from Allah. um, Basically we know this because Allah knows what is what you speak out loud and what you keep inside, what you think to yourself. So by making a dua to yourself, Allah will accept it, as long as there are a few requirements for dua to be accepted. And this is from my personal experience, and I'm not gonna be like walking to myself, yeah Allah get me this, yeah Allah get me that, and there's no sincerity in it. Your heart doesn't really desire it. You're not really asking from Allah. You're just basically saying the first thing that comes to your mind, with not your heart really desiring it. So I guess sincerity depends on how much desire you want that thing, right? uh, so basically, when can you make a dua? So like we said, a dua can be made verbally or by talking to yourself. So you can do it anytime. However, personally I prefer to do it when you're in sujood. The reason behind I like to do it when you're in sujood is because you're basically putting your arrogance aside, your kibr. You're basically you're submitting your will to Allah, which is what Islam is. You're submitting your will, and you're on the floor. You're putting all your arrogance aside. You're saying, Ya Allah. You're showing the need that you want something, and that you're showing basically to Allah that you are nobody. You're a servant of Allah. So this is when I like to do my du'as. This does not limit me only to that time. I still do it, pretty much all the time, whether not only in prayers, when I'm walking, when I'm talking. It's part of the zikr as well. Um, I would recommend making du'as as much as you can. You don't ask for the thing once. I would do it more than one time. The reason being is you might not have the sincerity on the first time or the second time. You might have it on the first, you might have it on the fifth, you might have it on the 10th time. So the more times you make the dua, the chances are of it being accepted. So sincerity is one important thing. The second thing is basically confidence. So what do I mean by confidence? I mean that you are aware that Allah is hearing your dua. You know what I mean? So like usually, when Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam used to make a dua, he used to say, Ya Allah, you are the hearer of du'as. This is to reaffirm himself that Allah will hear his dua. So when you are making a dua, realize that Allah will hear your dua. And usually, if it will be better also if you use the attributes of Allah, Razzaq, when he gives risk. So if you're asking for something in regards to risk, then you would use that attribute. If you're asking towards forgiveness towards a sin that you made, you use Ya Allah فَأَنْتَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ, you are the most merciful, the forgiver. So you choose the attributes in your dua, and there's a verse in the Quran also that states that. So we need to learn. I mean, the Quran is a perfect example of how to make du'as. But if you do not understand the Arabic and what you're reciting, this is going to be an issue of sincerity. So you can speak, you can say the dua in English, in Japanese, in whatever language you speak. So as long as you understand what you're saying and asking from Allah, He will accept you, knowing that Allah will accept your dua. You need to have confidence, faith in Allah. And I will play a Quranic verse now, basically to discuss, we will discuss it after, but to show you basically what Allah says in the Quran.
وقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم إن الذين يستكبرون عن عبادتي سيدخلون جهنم داخرين.
Alright, this was basically Surah Al-Ghafir, the forgiver, right? We're saying Allah is the forgiver, verse number 60, ayah 60. Basically Allah says, "Call upon me, I will respond to you. Indeed, those who disdain my worship will enter hell." So what do we get out of this? Basically, Allah's reaffirming you that if you make a dua, if you call upon Him, make a dua, He will respond to you. And those who disdain my worship will enter hell. What does that mean? Basically, those who have kibr, whether if ibadah itself is dua. By you saying la ilaha illallah, you know that you have to go to Allah when you want and need things, because everything happens by the will of Allah. So this is who you go to ask for help, to ask for things, to thank, not necessarily you only go to Allah when you need things. And by the way, the more thankful you are, the more your du'as will be accepted. I'll use the example of a friend who always comes to you when they only want things, but a friend who's always there whether they want something or don't want something. Obviously, you'll give to the person who's always there whether he needs or doesn't need, versus the person who's just there when he needs something, which is like once in a blue moon. You know what I mean? So basically, indeed, those who disdain my worship will enter hell. So we have to realize that we don't have kibr, don't have arrogance. Oh, Allah will not answer me. No, Allah will answer you. So go and make dua. Call for, ask for forgiveness. Ask for, guidance. Ask for, if you don't understand the Quran, then you know what? Say it. Ask for it. Ya Allah, please help me understand the Quran. It doesn't have to be in Arabic. As long as you're sincere with your dua, inshallah, it will be accepted. And as long as you have understanding, belief, confidence that Allah will accept. I can't emphasize how important this is. Sincerity, confidence. Confidence, not in yourself, but that Allah will accept your dua. That is faith. To have faith that Allah will accept your dua. Because basically, if you have doubt in your heart, doubt is like, shaitan trying to play with your feelings, saying, oh, my dua might not get accepted, but it will get accepted. And this is shaitan trying to make you deviate away, or to have kibr or arrogance. But seriously, do not worry. And as long as you have confidence, faith in yourself and in Allah, and sincere in your dua, like it's something that you truly desire, inshallah you will get it. On other circumstances, the du'as are not accepted, but this is I think I will leave this to another lecture. But basically, it will be good for you. If Allah doesn't accept your dua, it is for the best of you. And during Judgment Day, you will be told why this dua wasn't accepted, or you will see the reward of the dua that wasn't accepted because it was better for you, akhirah or dunya, and so on. There's another verse, basically from Surah Baqarah, verse 186. I'll let the reciter say it.
وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداع إذا دعان فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون. وإذا
Alright, seriously, this verse is really touching. Basically, this verse says, when my slaves ask of you, Allah's talking to the Prophet ﷺ, and he says, basically, when my servants ask of me, indeed tell them that I am close. I respond to the prayer when it is called upon. And then basically to tell them, like, to show you how He will accept your prayer, or why, so you could understand that Allah is there, so that you will answer Him. So He answers your prayers so you can, follow Him, basically, to obey the commandments and so on. So you can believe in Him and have more faith in Allah. So things like that. So this verse is very close to show you that Allah is near. Like at any time you can make a prayer and a dua, and inshallah will be accepted. I really hope this will benefit you, inshallah. It definitely has helped me a lot. I did promise I'll say personal experience, and you know, I'll probably it's a little bit. I wasn't a Muslim prior, and basically during my rediscovery to Islam, one dua that I made was basically, Ya Allah, show me that you exist. And for me, like, it was so important because I kind of had a feeling that God was there. I was an atheist before, but then after, you know, I guess a long story, I realized that there was God. And basically for me, I still needed some proof. And you know, subhanallah, the dua, I can't believe the outcome of the dua and how fast it was accepted. And like the proof that was given to me was, you know, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. So inshallah, maybe I will post another story about this in the future, basically my reversion to Islam and how Allah has guided me. Inshallah, we'll see. Alright, Assalamu alaikum, Jazakumullah khair for watching, and may Allah make it beneficial to you, inshallah, and I really hope it helps you. Remember, have faith, sincerity. Alright, take care. Assalamu alaikum.